Welcome back, friends. It's finally time to plant the Pennsylvania summer garden. It's early June here. It's been a crazy year, but we never plant until after Memorial Day here. So this is where I grow my pumpkins, lots of flowers for my mom, and a few tomatoes, squash, cucumbers, and I think peppers we're gonna do this year. So come along and let's see what we got. So here is the space. Like I mentioned before, we use that real heavy industrial landscape fabric. I wanted something that was fairly low maintenance and weed free for my mom, and this has been really great so far. This has got to be like our, oh gosh, 5th year maybe at least with this, and it's holding up pretty well. And while it may look like we have lots of weeds, which we do, a lot of what this green is that you see are cleomes. Well, that's might be a calendula, but a lot of this is cleomes. We have tons and tons of calendula and cleome volunteers. Oh my goodness, you plant them once and you will have those flowers forever, which we love because, like I said, this is, I plant it and then my mom harvests. So if she wants lots of flowers, that's what we're gonna do. We also have the potatoes and onions doing really great. Just do a quick little update on those guys. So I have onions here in the kiddie pool. Need to get some weeds out of there. This is just my pretty clover patch I leave for the bees. And then potatoes in the buckets, protein tubs, and more onions here in the wheelbarrow. Weeds, of course, everywhere. And more potatoes. So now I'm just gonna go through and kind of space out where I'm gonna plant what, and then just get started. Lots of work to do. Something else that I always do when I come back in the fall to take the garden down, out, whatever you want to call it, get it ready for winter, I always just cut the big stems from whatever it was, peppers, tomatoes. I just cut them, a little bit above soil level so we don't trip on them, and leave them all winter for a couple reasons. One, they pull out way easier. Look at that, so easy, and there's nothing left. The microbes, worms, all the good things in the soil, they have used that as food over winter, and this is all I have left. Makes it super easy to pull out, and everybody benefited. So along the whole backside of the garden, which sort of butts up here to the hayfield, this is where we plant flowers. Now, a lot of these probably are volunteers and a lot of these are weeds, so we have like big strips here that we just cut in the back. Last year we did a ton of cosmos and zinnias, and then I do some flowers kind of on this back row. So we'll see. First, I just need to go in and pull some of the weeds. Already getting some volunteers. Look at this. Cosmos, of course, tons of calendula. Yeah, I think that is a weed. I don't know. We're gonna clean some of this up and then get some more seed down. The dirt here is just beautiful. It's really soil. It's not dirt. It is full of life. Every time I dig a hole, there's tons of worms, and this is why we garden in the ground here in Pennsylvania, because it's just gorgeous soil. Okay, let's do a quick rundown of what we're going to plant here. We buy all of our starts for the Pennsylvania garden just because it's a lot easier. Like I said, I just come up here early June and plant it for my mom. I may get her a little arrow garden to do some seeds starting next year. We'll see what happens. But right now we just buy starts, try to support local places, but sometimes just have to go and buy at the big box stores too. Anyways, we are doing let me turn this around. Mr. Stripey. We love Pineapple Dream that we normally get from this greenhouse a couple hours away, but weren't able to go there this time. So getting some other ones. A green zebra. This is a green slicer. A golden jubilee. This is another like yellow tomato. So 3 big slicers. I'll put somewhere here in these holes with stakes. And then 2 cherry tomatoes I'm going to put on that little trellis. A sun sugar, which is very similar to sun gold. If you can't find a sun gold, which is my absolute favorite, go with sun sugar. And then, whoops, sorry, just a red cherry grape tomato. So like I said, we're going to put those guys over on the trellis. And I'm also going to put some cucumbers, if I can get a hold of them here. And I don't know what these are. They just labeled them MM. So we're going to find out, but I'm going to put them on that same trellis. And then the other thing we have are a bunch of marigolds and zinnias, and I have tons more flower seeds that we just put in all of these holes. I also will plant a bunch of pumpkins. I'll go over them next. And a yellow squash plant. Oh, and 6 just bell peppers. Actually, no, these were called new ace bell peppers. So we will get them. Normally we do bell peppers right in this area with the tomatoes. I try to keep the veggies kind of all up front here and then do the pumpkins more towards the back. This will be sunflowers, this will be cosmos and zinnias, and then like I mentioned, we'll have tons of volunteer cleomes, calendula, all of the things. And then in each hole, I'll just go and dig out. I love to add a little bit of this mycorrhizal stuff, specifically with the pumpkins. I'll be sure to give them a little bit of this when I plant the seeds, and then just whatever organic, like all-purpose vegetable fertilizer I have. So I'll put a little sprinkle of this. I'm finishing up this bag of the Espoma Biotone, and then I'm going to switch over to the true organic tomato vegetable food. And on a totally unrelated note, I really hope you guys are able to hear me. I have my little microphone just stuck in my overalls. There is terrible truck traffic here, and it's just horrendous. So I'm having to use a little microphone, but of course I didn't have a clip. I don't know why. And I want to, like, I have to be like hands-free. So lots of things happening. Sorry, I will get better the more videos I make and get some different equipment. But thank you for bearing with me. Just want to get a little side note of that. So I'm going to go ahead and get these plants in the ground, and then we'll move on to the seeds. I think this is my first time growing cucumbers and tomatoes together on this trellis, but I think it'll be okay. The ground can definitely handle it. There's plenty of nutrients in there, and I hope we have enough space on the trellis for everybody. And of course, #a couple marigolds. And since I am growing so intensively sort of on this trellis, I've already tied this guy more towards this way, this tomato, so he can kind of go over here, and we can leave a little space here for the cucumber, hopefully. We'll see, fingers crossed. Okay, here's what I do when planting. So just a little side note, if you do decide to use this heavy duty, like commercial grade landscape fabric, definitely cut it with a torch. Don't cut it with scissors or a knife like we did, because then you get all those little strands. But anyways, I tuck that over there. Then I just dig out a little hole, and oh my goodness, I see some wormies. Of course, take out any weeds that you see. Oh, come on, little worm. Always so fun finding worms. We'll tuck him back in there. So this is, I don't need a very big hole because these are just peppers. They're not real big right now. And then if you're using any supplements, I'm going to sprinkle in just a little pinch of all-purpose fertilizer. And then we'll get these guys out of a little tray. So these are just little tiny 6-pack peppers, but the peppers look good. So I hope this is a new variety. We'll find out. Loosen up the roots, and then just stick that guy right in there, putting the dirt back around. You can take off a few of these little lower leaves if you like. It won't hurt anything. The dirt back around. Press it down. And there we go. And we'll just keep on going and then water everybody in well. Although my ground's pretty wet, as you can tell, we've had a lot of rain, but I'll still give them just a little drink of water. Okay, most of the plants are in the ground. I still have just a couple marigolds, and I may go buy some more because there's just never enough flowers for me. Even though I have seeds, I like to have like the instant results up here in Pennsylvania, especially since I'm only here for a short time to get it planted. So let me show you the seeds that I'm going to do. But before I show you, I'm doing something a little crazy this year. I am not going to label any of the pumpkins. I'm just going to throw seeds in and see what happens. So let me show you what I got. So in addition to pumpkins, I'm going to do a few melons too. So we got some cantaloupe, a sugar bush baby watermelon, also some winter squash, an acorn, just like a typical acorn, and mashed potatoes. So the other thing I've been doing this year is I've really been trying to go through and use old seed up and not buy new seeds, because I have so many seeds, as I'm sure most of you do. And then getting into the pumpkins, Cherokee bush, toad, Gemini, Pegasus, Corvette, Capital, and White Knight. And then just real quick about the pumpkins, and since I'm new to YouTube, so pumpkins are one of my absolute favorite things to grow, and that's what I do here up at the Pennsylvania Garden. It's really how the Pennsylvania Garden started for me. I grew up on a dairy farm, and when my parents were done with the cows, when they retired, I wanted to grow some pumpkins. So we went down and just threw some seeds into the cow pasture, and we got like 85 pumpkins, I think, that first year, and I was addicted. I was like, oh my gosh, we got to do this every year. So the next year, they got taken over by woodchucks, and I think I got 2 pumpkins. And then my mom said, well, why don't you just put a garden up here by the house and we'll fence it and all that kind of stuff. So that's what we did. That's how the garden became to be. And then, of course, we added vegetables for my dad and my parents, and flowers too for my mom. My mom loves the flowers, as do I. So we started out those first couple of years growing just regular vining pumpkins, which are great. Pumpkins do really well up here, but of course they take over the they were like up in the fence and like on the flowers. My mom just didn't like all the big vines. So I started researching and found that they make a lot of bush style pumpkins. So all different sizes. You can get small pumpkins, big pumpkins, but they stay small in a bush sort of growing habitat, or more of like a semi bush. So you won't get like the huge vines. You know, some pumpkins let out like 10, 20, even longer feet vines, where these just stay real small, compact, like 3 feet or less. So that's when we started growing bush pumpkins, and they've been super fun. I have so many videos of them on Instagram about all the different varieties. So this year we're doing like a little bit of a mix because, like I said, I didn't buy any pumpkin seeds, which is so crazy for me. But just wanted to use up some of my old seeds since I have so many. And Holmes seed, they are fantastic for bush style pumpkins if that's something that you want to do in your own garden. They have a huge variety. I've had great success with all of their pumpkin seeds. I'm not sponsored by them or anything like that. I just buy the seed because I'm a huge fan. So if you have any other questions about bush pumpkins, please let me know. Okay, moving on to the seeds. One thing I did not talk about when I talked about the pumpkins was the flower seeds. So the first thing I'm going to do is we like to do flowers all in the back here. So you can see I just sort of cut out these like long strips, and I'm hoping these are mostly volunteers. There may be some weeds mixed in too, but that's okay, because of course they get weedy from year to year. But I am going to stick in some cosmos and zinnias on this back side, and then I'll do sunflowers along the back here. These are Shasta daisies, and I have some rudbeckia coming back as well that I'll leave there. But I love these bulk packs from Sow Right Seeds because it's just so great if you're planting a lot, that type of thing. Love their seeds. I have a discount code if you're interested where you can save 10%. Super great people. Daryl and Patty, really nice small company, and they do a lot with giving back to like their local community and along with like charities and schools. So that's why I love working with them. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and get these guys in. I've gone ahead already and weeded these pretty good. I'm not too crazy about the weeding. So then I'm going to break it up a little bit with my little like 3-prong thingy, and then sprinkle the seed in, water, and hope for the best. So like I said, I've just gone ahead and roughed this up a little bit, and that'll just kind of create some natural nooks and crannies too for the seed to fall into. Then I don't really worry too much about covering the seed up, because a lot of your flowers, some flowers are different. I'll have to plant them a little bit deeper, but the cosmos and zinnias, you don't have to plant them real deep, about a 1/4 inch. So I'll just go ahead and sprinkle these guys in. So here is one of the sunflower strips. And you can see I kind of made a little indentation in the middle there because sunflowers typically want to be planted about, where is it? 1 inch. So we'll go ahead and just put ourselves a handful of seed and sprinkle it right down here in our little trough, and then put the dirt back on top of it. Easy peasy. Get my little glove. Okay, hard to put my glove on one-handed. And then we'll just put the dirt back down, press it down a little, like so. One other thing that I'm doing to a couple of the beds up here are these flower strips, is I have made these last year because as you can hear, or maybe you can't, but we have tons of birds. So this just kind of helps protect them to get started. I should probably do some more, but you know what? I have one for the sunflowers and one for the cosmos and zinnias, so at least we'll get something. Like I said, I should probably make more, but I haven't yet, and I have a few to put over the pumpkins when I plant them. And when it comes to planting the pumpkin seeds, very straightforward. Again, I mixed in some all-purpose fertilizer along with some of this mycorrhizal inoculant. I've been using this for years and my pumpkins really love it. And then I just sort of mix that all around in the hole. Make a little, what I think is a 1-inch space. Take the seeds. Another thing I love about these home seeds is that they have a little resealable tops. And then I put about 3 seeds in each hole. And then cover them back up because they want to be about an inch deep. Kind of hard to do one-handed, but you get the idea. And another thing, when you're planting, if you see like little rocks or things like that that would cover up the seeds, I go ahead and take them out because you don't want anything to impede the little seedlings coming up and getting started. Well, friends, we did it. Somehow I got it all planted today, even with a big break this afternoon. I ended up having to wait for the heat of the day to be gone and then come back out this evening to finish up. But super excited again to see. Every season is different up here, every year is different, so we'll just see what happens. I like to get the pumpkins in early since I'll be here for a few days. That way I can see if they're going to sprout and I can put more in if I need to. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe so that you can see the follow-up videos to see what grows, and hopefully we get lots of pumpkins. Happy growing!